An error occurred.
Says we're live.
Oh, all right. I think our LinkedIn broadcast isn't working, but the other two are, so that's okay. All right. Welcome everyone to our stream. Sorry for those technical difficulties.
Welcome everybody to the weekly AMA.
All right. Let's maybe just give it a minute or two for a couple more people to join. Actually, maybe I'll fix this LinkedIn thing while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Just had to try a third time.
Third time's a charm.
So still have people funneling in. So wait a minute before we jump into our first topic. I think we're going to talk about the latest governance vote and taxes first. So probably one that not many want to miss. Morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
All right. Well, we don't have too many here yet, but let's get started, I guess. We can always rewatch it back afterwards. So first topic today is going to be, our idea that we want to for mainly do what the community wants to do in regards to taxes, whether that be keep taxes the same, lower taxes, or remove taxes. So we got a pretty thorough forum post about it here where we've had some good discussion going on already. So make sure you guys check this out. It's at forum.peghub.com, and you can't miss it once you go there. It's going to be latest topics right here.
Yeah.
And it's also in governance proposals. Zoomed in a little too much. So yeah, I highly recommend if you guys have any questions about taxes, this is the time. I mean, we're going to discuss it as well. But also if you have questions afterwards, feel free to post in the forum. This is the best place to discuss any major decisions in the protocol. And, if you want to help influence maybe some other PegHub holders to vote the way that you think, here's where you can express your opinion and, why you feel the way that you do. So let's just get into it then in terms of the taxes. When we first launched with taxes on CZ Pegs, it was something that, it was working really well at first. Having said that, we were above peg quite frequently at launch. There was a lot of demand, obviously, from the community to well, I say obviously, but because I was in the community at the time, but there was a ton of demand in the community to bring taxes to bomb money after seeing like what was going on with CZ Pegs. So at first I was resistant, and then after hearing it over and over again, I started, back in my mind, I was thinking like, what's the best way to do this? And, of course, that's why we ended up launching BitBomb, the evolution of bomb money, with a similar system to CZ Pegs. Unfortunately, as most of you know, we had to, increase taxes on both CZ Pegs and BitBomb to levels that I'm not, overly happy with myself, but it is what it is. But I've got a comment here. I'm not sure what this guy's talking about. Your coin liquidity 1 BTC, your coin are scam. Well, I'll happily address that if you want to be a little bit more clear.
Oh, this is interesting, though. While we're in it,
I'll let you, okay, you control.
Sorry, man. So why not make taxes dynamic, inversely proportional to peg, like up to 99.99% or something like that?
Well, for one, I mean, we can't really completely change how the tax system works on already launched tokens. But putting that aside, because we do have a lot more launches coming up. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that idea. That's something similar, I believe, to what Tomb had originally, their tax system that was able to be avoided. And that's, the whole drama that happened with Tomb early on. Not saying that, I mean, that was just one bug that could definitely be fixed. So it's definitely doable, but I don't know. Let's talk about this for a minute, I guess. just for future protocols.
I think it's an interesting idea, but for me, there's something around. You want taxes to be a concept that's easy for investors to understand, and I think an approach like that, just makes it inherently more complex. So it's not to say it couldn't work, but I think on the basis that we really want to keep things as simple and as transparent for investors as possible, I'm not sure it would play well into that.
Yeah, like I think the way that Tomb had it was in tiers, so it wasn't like perfectly linear, where it was like always adjusting depending on exactly what peg was. So I think tiers is maybe a happy medium, but even still, I mean, I think the goal is just to if we're going to have any taxes at all, just to deter people from selling, and obviously the plan is to have everything over peg or near peg, and have taxes be there and not so big that it's it scares people from investing, but big enough that people think twice before selling, especially right around peg, right? It's because obviously it's beneficial to just hold on and wait for peg at that point. But interesting idea, something we could definitely look into. I think it would be a tiered type system if we were to do that, if it was like between 0.9 and 1.0 is a certain amount and something like that.
Okay, we got another question. How do you focus on existing protocols when the plan is to go multi-chain, thus having less focus on existing projects?
I'll kick this one off.
Yep.
So, I hate to sound like a broken record, but, what we've determined is that by making our system easy to use, making our whole ecosystem like user friendly and giving access to our high value or, unique farms through a simple to use PegHub dApp, this is going to, bring benefits to every single protocol that has farms listed at PegHub. So, the only thing I guess I could agree on is that like perhaps we're diluting the offerings by having more, protocol launches in the future, but it's more variety. Some people are into certain certain cryptos, certain people are into other ones. So I don't think that's a huge negative, really. I don't know. Does anybody else want to handle that one at all?
Yeah. Well, to add to that, first of all, I'm posting. We actually have a blog post, explaining the benefits of how PegHub and having other chains, other protocols, increase the offerings on PegHub will help the overall health of all of our protocols. So I am posting that in chat right now. But on top of the flip side to having potentially diluting the offerings, we also get to recently we've had a lot of marketing on Avaxholics, I think it is. So we also, since we're going to a new blockchain, we are able to offer it to a new market. Obviously, some people will be transferring over, but it also gives us the opportunity to bring it to new people.
Yeah, it's a great point, right? Every additional chain that we go on to, there's people that are diehard fans of certain chains or people that are more active on certain chains. So, we can hit target markets that we weren't previously hitting. And once they find out about our whole ecosystem and what we do, they're a lot more likely to, jump onto PegHub app and, invest in some of our other cryptos. If their blue chips of choice happen to be on another chain, maybe they wouldn't have found us unless they, found us on their chain that they typically interact on.
Yeah. And I think as well, and I completely agree with everything you guys have said, a big benefit of pushing the focus to PegHub, and therefore, the simplicity of the auto vaults is we tend to find that those who invest in the auto vaults are more likely to invest, compound, and stay as long-term investors, whereas those who are directly jumping into our senior-ish protocols naturally participate in more advanced strategies, but often ones that do adversely impact the health of the protocols. So yeah, I mean, this is all about making PegHub the most appealing proposition for a broad set of investors. So by expanding onto new chains, we expand our offering and therefore our reach into new markets.
Yeah, and even just not not necessarily going on new, like the whole new chain thing, but people just looking at PegHub and seeing that, for example, what's the best place I can stake ADA now or Sol now, right? And if they find PegHub with our marketing that we're going to be ramping up soon because of our new dApp, they're going to see, okay, so I'm looking to stake Sol and get some insane APRs, right? Well, now you go to PegHub and you can say, oh, what am I going to do with my Bitcoin though? Okay, so they had no intention, for example, staking Bitcoin. Now they're involved in the BitBomb dApp without even knowing the BitBomb protocol, right? So that's the idea behind PegHub. It shows a list of all the places that they can stake. They don't need to understand the the protocols behind the staking. They just see, I want to stake Bitcoin, I want to stake BNB. Now they're in two of our protocols, but maybe they only came for AVAX, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty behind PegHub. And as we expand to more chains, you're going to have people doing the same with Ethereum. What's the highest APR I can find on Ethereum? I just go to PegHub, stake in my Ethereum. Now I'm also going to find BitBomb. I'm going to find CZ Pegs, So yeah, that's the long-term strategy. And that's like why we're so bullish on PegHub and all of our protocols getting back to Peg.
Yeah,
definitely. Great answers, guys.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more comments.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. I'd love to help code it out if you're open to it.
Hey, sure. If we end up going that route, I'd love to see your take on it. Definitely.
When do you envisage selling the 2000 bomb evolution NFTs? After the next protocol release, maybe? Personally, I think ETH would make a great protocol. I want to see what bombs I got. So do I, man.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, we've been stagnant here for a couple of days now, it seems. So we've been talking about this internally a little bit for the exact reasons that you mentioned. These are really, truly amazing NFTs. Nobody likes seeing that question mark when, there's that beautiful random NFT hidden behind it. So, yeah, I mean, let's have an open discussion about this. Just to let you know, I think it was mainly me and you, Rob, that were discussing different ideas in regards to this. So one thing we could do is we could mint out a bunch of them on behalf of the protocol and list those on OpenSea. It would get us closer to being fully minted out. The reason we can't reveal before the 2000 are minted is just because people would be able to look ahead in the metadata or ahead in the image IDs and just see which ones are the quad legendaries and kind of snipe those. So we do have to mint all 2000 prior to the reveal. But if we can figure out a way to do it, because this is the other so the way that I was mentioning of let's just say, for example, we mint every single NFT right now to 2000 and we list those on OpenSea. The problem with that is that as soon as we reveal them, all those NFTs that we just listed on OpenSea, if we list them at the mint price, it's not really fair to the people that already pre-minted, because now people can go in and look at, almost 1350 NFTs that are at the mint price, but they can pick and choose which one they want. That's not really fair to people that would have bought a lot of 10 or 20 of them to get a rare one. So if we don't do it that way, then, we could do the reveal and then, perhaps price anything that's not rare a little bit under the mint cost, and then the rare ones a little bit higher. I mean, I don't really know if there's a perfect solution to that. But I would like to work towards something to get them all revealed. And as long as we have, as long as the protocol has them for sale so that people can buy them prior to future protocol launches, then I think that addresses that part of the equation. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that feels like a good approach. I mean, we know that these are great NFTs, both in terms of their design, they're cool, but also the utility that they provide. So we're definitely going to continue to really focus on marketing to the NFT community, but equally we want to make sure that all of us who are super keen to see our NFTs don't have to wait too long for that. So I think listing the less rare ones somewhere around or just below the mint price, and then the rare ones something a bit higher, definitely could be a good solution.
Be a bit tedious to go through them all, but I guess that's the only downside of that plan. But yeah, I'd be open to doing something like that.
Well, and another to devil's advocate it, having some patience here. We sold almost 600 on one protocol launch, right? On a not that popular chain of AVAX getting into the Genesis pool. So you would assume, 3 more protocol launches, 3 times that, we're almost there. Especially allowing people Genesis farms on like an Ethereum or something that could really bombard it. But
all devil's advocate, you're devil's advocate there. I don't think AVAX is that unpopular. I think it's actually it's pretty huge, especially for DeFi. It's probably one of the top ones, but
that's true. And for NFTs, it actually is one of the top ones. But
yeah, and
I think just comparing it to Ethereum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ethereum is just monstrous. Yeah. But I think the flaw in your math there is that a lot of the people that are going to participate in future launches already bought an NFT. So I don't think we're going to see that number. I mean, unless we target completely different markets and we actually have enough new users to, purchase that amount of NFTs. I'm not sure that we would get that times 4 with for all 4 protocols.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if we don't get that, that means that, short of doing, huge NFT marketing campaigns, I'm not sure how soon we'd hit the 2,000 mark.
Yeah, there's definitely a risk there, and that was what was going through my head when Marcus sort of outlined that thought. But then again, hypothetically, if Ethereum was our next protocol launch, then that alignment between huge NFT market coupled with so plenty of whales, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we would see uptake beyond what we had on Snowpegs.
That's true.
So I think it's one for us to have some more discussions on. But if anyone's got any thoughts in the chat, then let us know.
Colo's also adding that the NFT market, the sales are close to a lowest in a long time. Bad luck timing wise.
Yeah, that's very true. Although I feel I did a little bit of research on NFT marketing and what do you got to kind of line up and get right to have a successful NFT project. And we seem to nail a lot of the items that we really needed. A lot of it's about the story behind the NFT. And I feel like Bomb has a nice history to it. And we kind of, with the name Bomb Evolution, the storyline is there. The NFTs look super cool, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are buying NFTs to make money. Mm-hmm. And, I think that, requiring an NFT to participate in Genesis is going to make these valuable in the future. 2,000 is not a lot of NFTs for, when the market turns around and sentiment's better and, the more people are participating in DeFi, people are going to be fighting over these things, even the common ones. So I think the rare ones are going to, I don't want to speculate on price, but the rare ones could definitely be going for quite a bit more than your standard ones.
Yeah. Yep. And bear in mind that, the additional 3 protocol launches are just what's in plan for this year. So
yeah, exactly.
There'll be more to come beyond that.
And who knows, I like what Yuga Labs did with the Bored Apes, how they kind of just they'll airdrop stuff to all the holders and they'll do random things that just, I'm not sure if they give any notice in advance. It's kind of just whoever happens to be holding one at that time, gets, a mutant ape that's now worth $30,000, right? Or whatever. It's it's we can and likely will do things like that in the future where it'll just pay to be holding one of these things, whether that's early access to, certain secret projects or who knows, right? Might airdrop you some stuff.
Nice. Got another question here. How do you prevent creating new whales with low share prices at the moment? They can easily manipulate PEG if the boardroom prints in the future. When, by the way?
So I don't really consider that a problem. Whales getting into shares at low prices jacks the price up. So, I mean, it's bottom line is the markets set the prices of all the assets. And, I feel the shares are a steal right now. And if whales feel that way, then they should be loading up. I don't really see that something that needs to be prevented. But I mean, in terms of them manipulating peg, I mean, they would have to really buy a lot of share tokens to be able to, get enough peg tokens to start messing with peg afterwards. And we have enough positive things going on. I'm not really overly worried about that. I don't know if anybody wants to add to that.
Me either, but I'm thinking if a whale does come in and buy a boatload of shares, one, like you said, it will be boosting the price, and by the time PegHub is doing its thing, and once or even if the bull market hits, then once we are at Peg, people are placing those shares in the boardroom, and people are getting rewards. We will be in a fantastic place. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Agreed. Actually, maybe, just kind of not really related to that question, but somewhat. So I think I've mentioned in passing in the communities, about future protocol launches, and it's obviously with Snowpegs, we had a couple really large players, enter Genesis with no intent to really use the protocol, basically just to dump the peg tokens. So we've got numerous ideas already in mind that all will work to varying degrees to prevent that in the future. Some more radical than others, like, the least radical being just having much smaller Genesis farms so that there's not nearly the incentive to do that. And then having the bootstrap phase of the boardroom be the main, avenue of receiving peg tokens early on. So, I mean, that's the most basic way, where it's just not worthwhile for someone to come in, and then dump peg down to 0.1 because they're not going to recover their deposit fee. I mean, or we could also raise the deposit fee, or we could do both of those things, or a little bit of both of those things. Then there's also more radical ideas. For example, actually, I don't even know if I mentioned this to anybody on the team, but I'm always just thinking of different random things. So one thing I was thinking is that what if the only token that you could stake for Genesis was the actual peg token of that asset? So for example, for Snowpegs, you could only, deposit AVAX to earn Snow AVAX, for example, and you can only deposit Solana to earn Snowsol. And maybe when you redeem, you get the LP, or maybe you get the LP and it's, there's some kind of time lock, or I don't know. I didn't really put too much thought into that one, but essentially we could do something along those lines where you either need the peg token to claim those boardroom rewards. So if you have, 2,000 Snow AVAX there ready for you, you need 2,000 AVAX, to pair with that in order to claim, as another radical idea.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things we can do to prevent, the gaming of the Genesis that happened with Snowpeg. So I'm not really concerned with that. Well, I mean, I'm concerned with it, but I know that we'll have solutions in place for the next launches.
Yeah.
All right. Any more talk about taxes? Not really getting too much feedback in regards to the taxes, but if you want to talk about that before we move on.
Now is the time.
Yeah, just to confirm, the votes will open at
4.5 hours.
BC. Yeah. So that's open to our PHub holders. So make sure to have your say. So yeah, 3 options. We leave the taxes as they are. We reduce down to 10% across all, so 5% burn, 5% tax, or we remove them entirely.
And keep in mind that, as always, nothing's set in stone. We could always have votes in the future to change things. So, But yeah, I mean, if anybody feels strongly about the topic, for one, feel free to comment here. Just, other people are going to be watching this in the future that aren't available right now. So we can be discussing, your point of view, and might help other people. So, and as well, comment here. People are going to be reading this, and if you have a strong opinion on this, definitely put it forth on our forum.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting to see the number of people who in the comments there have talked about having a preference for minimal taxes as opposed to no taxes. And clearly, I don't want to say anything but you know, I think to your point you made earlier, Aaron, having something that makes people think carefully about whether they want to exit certainly does have some value.
Yep.
Cool. Got a comment. Taxes on BTC is higher than the APR. Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons we have the PegHub app. You can go there, deposit your BTCB, and it'll put it to work for you, and you don't have to worry about taxes.
Yeah. And it continues, but taxes were a main reason for the migration.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's us doing what the community wants us to do, right? I mean, it was mentioned in the communities so many times that, we put a governance vote forward, and overwhelmingly everybody wanted BitBomb with taxes. I mean, luckily there's a lot of other advancements that we brought with BitBomb over bomb.money. So, even if we remove taxes, there's still a lot of benefits to the protocol. So I'm still happy with the move, even if we do remove taxes.
Same here.
All right. Looks like questions on taxes have dried up. Let's, I guess, move into some of the PegHub app improvements and PegHub site improvements. So we've got a couple we're pretty much have new pages for every aspect of the PegHub main site, just to kind of make it more clear, I guess, what we do. Or actually, maybe you guys could explain this better because you guys have been more involved in the kind of the design and redesign.
Yeah, I'll kick up and then guys feel free to jump in. But I think when we reviewed the existing site, there were certainly great aspects to it, but it didn't feel clear enough in terms of what is our proposition. Why should you choose to invest in PegHub? So we've really tried to make that incredibly clear. That's, with our whole ethos around making things as easy and simple as possible, is supported by, you'll see we've got some nice kind of whiteboard explainer videos in there as well. And just generally, I guess we've drawn a lot of inspiration from some of the kexes and, I guess some of the TradFi world as well, in terms of things that we know convert well. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it maintains that really nice clean style, but just does more to make it very clear what our proposition is and actually how do you get involved.
Let's see if there's any more pages I can show. So this is the front duplicate. So this is what's going to be replacing our homepage. Very nice. How close is this stuff to completion? You guys know, like, are we able to kind of make this stuff live on the main site soon?
We'll align it with the new app, so it should, all being well, be over the course of the next couple of days. I wouldn't want to commit to an exact timeline, but it's pretty imminent.
This is just a placeholder.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, we definitely want to make sure that ahead of the James Pelton AMA, that's next Wednesday, I believe, that
15th.
Yeah, that everything's finalised. Given we'll be showcasing it to a good large platform.
Yep. So this is going to be our new earn page. So instead of earn going to like a lower spot on the homepage, we're going to have a dedicated page for this. I think I already showed that one. So PHub, this is, just talking about our token. So kind of having a dedicated page for that as well, which is also why we have, this is our current homepage. This is, the proposed new homepage. So nice little informational video. Yeah, I think this is going to work a lot better. Pretty pumped about that. And then as well, I think I might have showed this a little bit earlier, but this is not complete yet, but this is our development version of the new PegHub app. So for comparison, this is what it currently looks like. And this is the new. So let's go back to the homepage. But this, I think this is getting pretty close to completion. Not going to give a date, but I think we're getting fairly close. I think we still need to optimize mobile, and there's a couple small things that still need to be done. But yeah, it's just overall just a much simpler, easier to understand dApp that would, hopefully work a lot better for someone new to crypto. The other one, it was kind of really similar to our auto vaults, which, for us experienced crypto users, it's fairly straightforward, but we need to really make things super, super simple. So.
Yeah, and we've kind of got the inbuilt prompts on all of the pages so that you can some guidance on how you do get started. At the moment, those are just sort of generic YouTube videos, but we'll have our own in there. And then if we maybe Aaron just pop back to the landing page, that would be great.
Yeah.
We can just perhaps talk about some of the thinking behind that. So yeah, we've kind of built in this calculator / graph so that people can get a clear view as to how much they could earn. We all love a good projection, and I think this presents information in a nice, simple way. And yeah, just having that sort of commentary to the right-hand side around PegHub and helping people understand, the buybacks that we have underway as well. I think just make sure that the value associated with PegHub is kind of front and center as well. So we've made sure to test this along the way with people who are, crypto noobs basically, to make sure that they can comfortably navigate it. The feedback's been really positive on that front.
No.
But if anyone's kind of looking at this, seeing anything you think looks out of place, or you think could be further improved, then again, do just shout in the comments.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with how this is coming along. So I think this is going to be at the stage where we can, make minor tweaks to it, but we'll be in a good place for quite a while once this is live, until we have our next major iteration.
And my favorite part about this is immediately getting people thinking long-term on their investment, because that's more of a traditional finance mentality, right? Thinking what am my investment looking like in about a year, or 2 years, 3 years. Whereas most of the people in crypto are like, can I get a Lamborghini in a week? Right. So when you see something like this, and you can see like, what do I deposit now? And if I actually leave my deposit in there for a year, right, you can actually see how much you're going to make. And right there on the projection thing's pretty cool. So we've got this calculator there to really show the power of leaving your deposit in our farms for the long term. And again, that's all helping because of auto compounding. And so it really, we're trying to get rid of those people that want to come in a week. I mean, those guys are going to be using the advanced protocol anyway. They won't be really using PegHub. The guys are going to be playing the share farms or share tokens and peg tokens and all that. But the people that are literally coming in to stake their blue chip crypto, this is the mindset that we're trying to drive. Is you're coming in for long term, and those are the types of returns that you can expect.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's coming along great. Can't wait to put this live.
Oh yeah. Any questions about this? Comments? Anyone?
Always open to feedback as well. So, now, or even once this goes live, if you see something that, maybe you tell somebody about it and they try to get into it and they like hit some kind of roadblock on the way, like let us know so we can, try to address that.
Yeah.
We want to make this as smooth as possible, no matter what somebody's experience is. So, that's part of the reason why we have like every single page, from the main page to the selection page to, the actual staking page. We have videos here. We're gonna have these, like Marcus said, we're gonna have 3 videos that are all made by our team, just to kind of explain everything along the way. So
yeah, they'll be like direct PegHub videos showing how to get everything set up and then how to use the site. So it's going to be, very, very simple to follow.
Yep. All right. Well, seems there's not many comments on that, so maybe let's move on. What's the next topic up for discussion?
So I think those were the 2 main ones. It's, given some of the discussion we had last week with folk sort of going, oh, what's going on the marketing front, it's maybe worth just doing a quick check-in on some of the things we've got going on in that space. So Mark, I don't know if you want to give a brief overview.
Yeah, so the major one everyone's been hearing about, we've got one of the biggest crypto influencers out there. We've got an AMA with James Pelton. That's going to be next Thursday. So yeah, September 15th. So that's going to be really good. And that's why we're really excited about having all the new pages, the new dApp. We'll have the tutorials because we're expecting his audience, they just love, the things that he recommends, and he's going to love PegHub. Like, it's just hard not to. So I know that his audience, they have a lot of crypto folks that are knowledgeable, but a lot of people that are just getting into crypto also follow guys like him. And it's just such a good synergy to have him talking about PegHub to a new audience, just looking at where to invest in crypto. So that's one of our, we're really excited about that one. We've also got, by tomorrow, we're going to be listed as a sponsor alongside some big names like FedEx, KPMG at that Toronto Web3 and blockchain event. So we're finalizing details on there, but we're going to be there November 8th and 9th. And then, yeah, as soon as our dApp's out, we're going to start ramping up our marketing as well on crypto sites, traditional sites. We're planning to also get out some more of like press release, public relations type of things on traditional sites, things like Yahoo Finance and things like that. So we're looking into all these avenues to try and get folks, new demographics that are going to be able to use our site. And yeah, this is all starting to ramp up in the next month or two. So it's a really good time to get into PegHub.
Definitely. All right. Any questions about anything that was mentioned in the bombshell? Guess we can maybe go over it real quick. We were talking about the new dApp. Actually, we've already pretty much talked about a lot of this stuff. Final week of BitBomb migration. And our vision for our PEG tokens. This is an exciting one. That we've had a couple comments about this in the community, but I'm really nothing excites me more than our long-term roadmap and, having our own full platform, on our own chain that is, fully transparent. And that's really going to be a huge driving factor to get us to our long-term goals of, becoming the biggest staking platform. We're going to, address a lot of other pain points in the crypto industry, or just being a crypto user while we're kind of building that out. One of the big ones being, just for ease of use and people being afraid of losing their seed phrase and just any of the typical barriers to entry for someone that's never touched crypto. And, if you're to ask them why are you not in crypto, any of the, popular reasons that they would give, we want to address all of those so that it's, it's easy to use. It's something where, we'll give a lot more details, I guess, when we have them, but we're definitely putting a lot of thought into this. And, as much as I'm playing around with test nets, figuring out, exactly how I want to get things set up. We've already have a test net where we've been able to successfully bridge tokens between our own chain and BSC, and we could do that with any other chain as well. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Maybe once the test net's a little bit further along in development, I'll let some of you guys play around with it.
Woo.
Yeah, sounds awesome. And I know we've talked about it before in terms of the major opportunity there is there and sort of bridging that gap between Web 2 and Web 3. But some of our kind of early investor research has been quite revealing. We're so immersed in the world of crypto, and clearly are pretty good at identifying some of the challenges that newer users have. But some of the absolute basics, like it's really difficult to convert crypto back to fiat and get it back to your bank account, or at least that's the perception of a lot of users. So that's kind of something we go, okay, well, is that a potential opportunity that we can solve for? But that's just one example. There's a whole host of things that are easy to overlook when you're so kind of immersed in the space. So we'll definitely be putting a lot of continued focus on that investor research to make sure that we're kind of leaving no stone unturned.
Yeah, it's because, I mean, it really all, like, I think our ideas are golden in regards to this. It's going to come down to the execution and prioritizing the right elements, because there's so much that we could build out that will bring value to having our own chain. But it's a lot to build right from the very beginning. So we need to focus really on what the core strength is going to be, which, we believe is going to be the staking and ease of use. And then we can, I think also we're going to, be an excellent bridge. I'd love to eliminate the need for using centralized exchanges for anything. Like, I know that when I'm transferring tokens between EVM compatible chains, there's great solutions in place for that already. But as soon as you need to transfer out to, something that's not EVM compatible, I haven't found any great solutions. I've had some recommended to me, and they always had very big, downfalls or, reasons that made them just not usable for large amounts or not trustworthy, or all kinds of different issues with some of the solutions I've seen out there. So, I mean, just to talk about it real quick, like, my vision is, in terms of the bridging aspect, and again, this is not going to be the main thing we focus on right away, but, with a centralized exchange, it's so simple, right? You just either deposit with fiat and get whatever crypto you want, or you transfer funds in from any supported chain, which would always be the native chain for that token, and then typically like an EVM chain or two. So for example, like BTC, you'd be able to transfer in from BTC mainnet and maybe like Ethereum, BSC, or, whatever other, common EVM chains people want to bridge in from. So that you'd bring in your assets onto our chain, and then you would just be able to either stake them there, or you'd be able to just, essentially withdraw them or transfer them out to any other compatible chain. So it would break the bridging process into a two-step process, but this is how it is with people use centralized exchanges all the time to move money around or move crypto assets between chains. So that's a two-step process there too. So I feel that, we can really fill that gap and make it so that people don't need to use centralized exchanges for that purpose anymore. And of course, us being fully based, the whole thing is on our own chain. It's a little bit more trustworthy, I guess, than your typical exchange, where you can actually, see the assets. And this also plays into, what I mentioned, or what was mentioned in the bombshell about, the tokens have an intrinsic value, because we will, if everything lines up like I think it will, then we should be able to, basically allow bridging of all of our PEG tokens onto our chain, which would then be redeemable for those tokens they would just be bridged into those tokens on our chain, which could then be transferred out to whichever compatible chains you wanted, or they could be staked there, or essentially you could do whatever you want with them. So that will be pretty exciting. And all the tech to do all that is all, it's all, not only does it exist, but we've already, deployed it and tested it and got great working solutions for all that stuff. So just about kind of putting the polish on everything and tying it all together and, really building that out. But
yeah, I was surprised people didn't sort of pick up more on that in bombshell. Because obviously the opportunity that creates for those that are here for the long run is just insane. So as you say, more to work through, but even based on some of our sort of conservative thinking and projections, we're pretty confident on that.
Yep. All right. Anything else we wanted to touch on before we close up?
or if anyone has any other questions about anything we've been through today, or anything else for that matter.
Yeah, the questions were really flowing and they seem to dry up.
Just such a good job of explaining everything.
You got it.
All right, let's maybe give it a minute. If anybody wants to comment on anything or ask any questions, now is a great time. Actually, we did have some comments in Discord about the bombshell and the intrinsic peg, which I addressed this morning. So there's been a little bit of talk about it.
So just to summarize, we've got our tax vote coming out in a few hours, and we've got the new PegHub site and dApp launching likely within the next couple of days. So if you've got any comment or questions on that, now's the time. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for everybody for joining.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's right.
And we will be having our Twitter space this week, assuming I don't fall ill again, which I don't think I will. So hope to see you guys there Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and thanks for joining us.
Yes. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.